Right, so this is the map I have used to demonstrate my pedestrian system. So for now I have selected all the spawners and set pedestrians to 0 because I want to focus on optimizing this scene. So actually this asset is quite a bit old, but still I think we can learn some of the stuff regarding optimizing a scene with this asset. Okay, so first if I play the game in the full screen, you can see, yeah, if you don't have the FPS count, just type stat, bring up the console and type stat FPS, and you can bring up the console using the key right below the escape, uh, the usual console key. I don't know what the name of that, right? And there type stat.fps. so usually this is the first step I do when I start optimizing. Alright, now as you can see here, when I look up this way, I have about 40-50 fps, and it's pretty much here. This side we have like 60 and 50, so pretty much 50-60 fps. So let's see what are the things that we can do in order to optimize this scene. Also we can get another stat like this stat scene rendering, but this is a little bit advanced. Let's not get onto these things now. And also we can get the stat unit graph. So we can use this unit graph to get an idea. Like for example, if I look down, you can see that blue line, this one goes down, and it represents the draw value, the amount of time, milliseconds, you spend in order to draw this scene. And this game, this one represents the processing, like AI and character blueprint and all those things. And GPU means you like rendering. So pay attention to this blue line. If I look this way, you can see it's going up as because when I look this way, you can see the number of elements that needs to be rendered into the scene is pretty much higher than when I look down. It's just the ground now. And if I look up also, you can see it's dropping because it's just sky and some few objects. So when we look like this, we have to render the maximum amount of objects usually. Alright, so that's something basic. I think I should mention that. So right, the next thing is now we can check if these buildings have loads enabled. So we can see that here. I don't think, but still enabling loads for these buildings would do much, but let's see. So if you go to this here, and under level of detail coloration, we have two options: mesh load coloration. So if I enable that, you can see the buildings are gray, so that means they don't have any loads, so they have the base load only. And you can see these trees in close range, they are gray, and as we go further they are red. So that means this here we can see there are two levels of load levels in this scene for this tree models. So if I go closer to these, flags, you can see now this one is green, and if I go closer it becomes gray. That means the load is changing like this, right? So if I go even further, you can see now at this point this tree went from red to green. That means it went to load 1 to load 2. So gray means load 0 with the maximum details, red means load 1 with the reduced details compared to load 0, and this is load 2, so it has the least amount of details, and other than that I don't think this tree has any of the details, right? And these light poles also have loads. Okay, so right, so let me show you how to add loads into, let's say, one of these buildings. Let me open let's see, yeah, let me open this model and go here. So here you can see it has 9484 triangles, and it doesn't have any of the loads enabled. So but also then again these buildings don't have much of the instances, it have only few instances. So by adding loads I don't think we would gain much of the performance, but let's see. So we can actually generate loads automatically here under load settings. So if I make this instead of 1, if I make it 3 and apply, 3 of the load levels will be generated automatically. So if I enable this custom tick, you can see load 0, load 1 and load 2. So if I go to load 1 and under reduction settings, actually load 1 is the base, the maximum detail load, so let's not change anything there, so I'll collapse it. Load 0, yeah, and under load 1, that's the second detailed level of detail level. So but if as I go further, now this is where, so pay attention here, when the screen size of this object is 0.09 or higher, load 0 is rendered. If I go even further, you can see this is switched from 0 to 1. So this is where we start to render load 1. So if we want to render load 1, and also notice that when you go from load 0 to load 1, triangles are reduced from 9000 to 4000. So if we want to change this screen size where the load transition happens, we can enable this disable this auto compute load distance, and so let's say I want the load transition to happen maybe in a distance like this. So at this moment screen size is 0.32, so I'll put 0.32, and if I copy. Now we are rendering load 0 with 0.37, and if I go further, now it's changed to load 1. Actually I don't really see any difference also, so that's good. Okay, and what about load 2? So let's enable it when the screen size is less than 0.2. Yeah, now here we have load 2. See, some of the details are going missing and it is visible at this level, but it's will not be too noticeable in the game because there are other objects too. So now if I save this and disable this, now we don't have those options, but still load change happens. Now if I go further, oh, it's not visible. Maybe let's save it again. This is built-in 3.2. Yeah. Load change didn't happen. Why? You're right. If I select this model and under rendering, yeah, under this load option we have for enable this force load model to 1. So if I F0 auto select, and if okay, so now it should work. Yeah, like that. See, okay. But I don't think this would do any good to our FPS. Yeah, as I said, but we have enabled one loads for one of the objects, so we have to do that for all the things that we have frequently used in the map in order to have a performance gain. Right, now next, I don't think I need this unit graph anymore. So now let's try to isolate and determine what actually causes more performance problem. What are the objects that actually cost most FPS to most time to render? So let's select. So actually these are bushes and everything. It would be better if we replace these static meshes instead of using them as just replace these static meshes with foliage. Let's first hide right, let's hide this foliage folder. Luckily all the four foliages are in the same folder, so it's easier. So let's hide them and see. Well, not much of a difference, but can we hide them in the we have some blueprints as well here, right? Let's hide try to hide the foliage now. No, we can't do that. Select all descendant, and under rendering, let's make them invisible. Right here now we have still not much of a performance, but 60 FPS in all these directions. Okay, that's something. So well, that doesn't really say anything, because of course it takes some performer cost to render the foliages. But so how to improve it? And also I did a light build. So after that, now we have 80-70 fps, so that has a major improvement. Building lights, so actually it's not much of a tip. You should do that. You should do that definitely if you are using static or stationary lights. So right now the scene is in 70, average 70 fps. Okay, right now let's look back at foliage. So select everything in this foliage folder, and let's make it remove visibility tick and see how the performance. So it's 120. Okay, so foliage has a major performance drop. All these props and everything building, they are fine. So foliage is where we should focus on. Alright, now what can we do about that? Let me reselect foliage or descendants and make them visible. Actually these leaves on the ground, they actually planners, so it would be better if we replace them with decals. I'm not sure, I think decals are more performant than this. Okay, so how to optimize foliage? And in this view, if you press F6, no F5, you can see the shader complexity. Actually everywhere is green, so I don't think it's much of a problem. What's that? We can enable that option here as well. Optimization view mode, shader complexity, and quotes. Why is this part in particular red? Nothing special is there. Does it have any overlapping lights? Let's light complexity, nothing. Light map density, okay. Stationary light overlap, it's fine. Okay, so back to foliage. Yeah, let's select these bushes and see where these bushes are. Actually these bushes are only in places like this. Okay, so maybe let's try converting that to a, there are 1000 instances. Okay, if I convert them to a foliage type by hand, that would be much work, but I want to try that and see what happens. Anyway, let's not be lazy and replace these with a foliage actor. So this one I'll this is all bush 2. Okay, let's go to the modes and foliage, and here I'll drag and drop bush 2 and select it, and here under painting I'll use this single and I can place it like this. Oh, wait, right, let me undo it. Align to normal, I don't think we need that. Random view, I'll disable it. It's too small, so the size should be, what's the size of this one? 3.75. okay, so this also needs to be oh wait, where is that foliage I placed? Let's save this. Single, align to normal, disable, scale x 3.75. okay, let's now place one. Okay, now it has the size. Do I have random view? Yes. Delete. Now I'll go back to the normal mode with shift F1 and bush 0 2. Let's delete all the bushes. Oh, not that one. Here in this area, oh sorry, right, now replace with foliage and see what happens. Actually we can select them like this, and if I select them both and if I keep Alt pressed and move, you can see it is duplicating. Right, now let's place some of the bushes like this, and let's place another one across like this also, and select all the instances, press Alt and move, so we can easily place them everywhere. So I think we only have bushes like this, but let's cover the whole this section with bushes. Alright, now let's okay, now we have many bushes and more than what we had. Performance is 90. Actually I don't remember what it was like before, but I guess it has improved. Alright, so just like this I'm gonna replace the trees as well. What's this tree? FLG tree. Okay, and this is black tree 3. Okay, let's go to mods. Now let me delete these bushes as well and replace with the new bush type. So let's FLG bush, delete them everywhere first. And place, I'll stop the recording here, right? And here let's place another bush like this, and as you can see this is too big, so select it and with W you can move. If you press R, and just like a static mesh you can scale it up and down like this. So with Alt I'll get one here, press like this and like this. Okay, I think I have covered all the bushes and the trees. Again go to foliage, drag and drop and save. So this is, let's first replace these taller trees. Oh, it's Walnut, Arizona. Oh no, actually FLG tree 3. So one here, one here, one here, one here, 4. Walnut, Arizona. Okay. So what I'm doing is press shift plus 1, So you can switch to the modes, the normal mode, where you can select the static meshes and press Shift+3. So you can switch to the foliage mode and place a foliage. It's simple when you know the shortcuts. Covered here. Yes. Oh, sorry. It's a foliage. I'll stop recording and finish this. Also, we can randomize the, I forgot about that, randomize the scale. If I do something like 0.8 plus 1.2, and we have already given random yaw, so the scale and rotation will be changed as I place them in the world. Right, so I completely replaced the walnut Arizona tree. It's 90 now. And I'm gonna replace these other tree types as well. So let me start with this one. What is this flag tree? And it is called in here Maple Tartarian. Maple Tartarian. Okay. There are 53 instances. Okay, let's go one by one. Delete. Oh wait, what's the scale? 1.4. Okay, now here I'll set to 1.3 and 1.5, so we will have some randomization. Right, delete, Shift 3, replace, Shift 1, delete, Shift 3, replace, Shift 1, delete, Shift 3, replace. So I will do that without recording so we can save time. Alright, so I completely replaced the Maple Tartarian with the foliage. Now still the performance is at 90, 96 something. Right, now we have to replace one more, that brown looking tree, I guess. So I'll get on with that. What is that? Let's select it. Maple Japanese. Okay. "41 instances altogether." Alright, let me replace them as well. Oh wait, what's the scale? 1.35. One 1.3, 1.4. Save, select, and place. I'll stop recording this part also. Right, all the brown trees are also replaced now, and yeah, it's we still has like 90 something. Alright, one more thing. Now that we have changed most of the objects, we will have to rebuild lighting, and also there are some stuff like this grass and these things, and maybe these poles that we can replace with foliage to improve performance. But I think this should be enough for you to understand what I have done here. So let's build lighting again in the scene and see after that. Right, after building the lights, okay, we have 120 fps. Wow, well, 100, well, above 100 definitely. See, it's much better now. 150, 120, sorry, not 50. And it's almost constant in every directions. In every direction I have more than 100 fps. Great. So still there are room for improvement in this scene. We can replace these repeatedly used models with foliages for performance, but well, this is enough for now. So okay, I hope you learned something, and I'm gonna stop this episode right here. Right, so thanks for watching. So if you like to support my work, you can get the membership of the Patreon club. Link would be in the description below. And see you in another episode. Goodbye.